What would you say? By how many percent do you think your present is defined by your past? 25%? 50? 75? Let's talk about letting go of the past today. Welcome back to this channel. I'm Christine Philipp. I'm a hypnotist and mind coach, and I help people to overcome anxiety so they can find the happiness they deserve. Now you had a moment to think, and probably you would like to know if you found the right answer to the question I just asked. By how many percent do you feel is your present determined by your past? The bad news is there's no right answer. Sorry. The good news is there's only your answer. But here's the thing. The more you believe your past has power over you in the way you create your present and future, the more this might be true for you. You nourish the belief that the past made you who you are today, and there's no way around it. You depend on your past, and this can make you feel helpless and powerless at times. If you were choosing a fairly low number, say like 25%, you have a past and it shaped certain things for you. But you also know you are in charge of your present and your future, and you can take responsibility for yourself because you are not your past. If you were choosing 75%, you might be still fixated on past events and circumstances, things you recall in certain ways, and you might feel rather trapped by them and maybe even stuck. You are likely to feel as a victim of your past and have difficulties to let it go. There's no doubt about it. Our past can have a huge influence on our life. I don't deny that things that have happened can still have a ripple effect into the present. Lots of people have experienced severe trauma in childhood or also later on in life and can't just shrug it off. This is absolutely human. If you are experiencing post-traumatic stress, anxiety, depression, anger, insomnia, addiction, or any other kind of manifestation that might be linked to events in your past, please ask for professional help. You don't have to suffer in silence. Give yourself the chance to feel better and to move forward. Yet not everybody has experienced that kind of severe trauma in life. We all have experienced ups and downs, highs and lows in life. We have been educated in certain ways, have learned certain things about life, this, that, and the other. Sometimes we tend to remember the negative stuff much easier than our highlights. That is also how we are wired. Our mind ruminates about what went wrong in the past and tries to figure out how we could avoid this from happening again in the future. Our brain is a meaning-making machine and tries to find patterns so that we can understand life better. Yet, let's not forget, most things we have learned in childhood are seen through the eyes of a child and not through the eyes of the grown-up that we are today. Those old patterns and strategies can be very stubborn and follow us through life, although they would just probably be already outdated. And let's be honest here. Sometimes it's quite comfortable to use the past as an alibi for our present behavior. Because X happened, I need to behave like this today. I have no choice. If you find yourself using the past as a justification, an excuse, an alibi, or an easy way out, you might feel comfortable for a time where you are, but in the long run, it doesn't really make you happy or take you anywhere better in life. The past has become a burden, an obstacle, and you can keep holding on to it if you wish. When you feel this way, the time has come to use this as a great opportunity to refocus and let go of the past. And I'm not talking about forgetting the past. I'm talking about letting go of the possible emotional load of the events in the past that you might still carry around today. We are not those children any longer that need to entertain the strategies of a child. We have grown up and can now decide which part of the past can still have a positive influence on us. We are not doomed because we had negative experiences in life. Let me tell you a story. There are those two brothers who were growing up with a very aggressive father who was a drunk and became violent against his kids on a regular basis. As the two brothers were growing up, one of them became a career criminal and ended up in jail. The other one became a social worker, helping kids to have a better life. So when the first brother was interviewed in jail, he just said, "Well, what else should I have become with a father like that?" The other brother, the social worker who helps others to have a better life, was interviewed as well and replied to the same question, "Well, what else should I have become with a father like that?" Think about it. Today, I would like to share 4 tips with you how you can begin to let go of your past and don't let it define you any longer. Tip number 1. Really realize that the past is indeed over. Become aware that the only place where your past is still alive and kicking is a place in your mind. The only person who has power over the way you feel and think is you. The past only exists in your thoughts. If I were to ask you to go and find your past, what would you come up with? And is that what you come up with really the past? A lot of people would say immediately, yes. But think about it for a moment. Is that what you were thinking about, the past, every single second of it? When you really become aware that it starts with you to change the way you think, feel, and behave, you will realize you have more options and choices. You cannot control the content of your thoughts, not really, but you can influence what thoughts you would prefer to buy into. I know this is not always an easy thing to do, but it will help you nevertheless to become faster aware of negative thought spirals and the possibility to let go of them. Number 2. Another way to make it easier to let go of the emotional load of the past can be forgiveness. And let's be very clear here. People who did really bad things to us did those bad things to us. There's no sugarcoating around it. To forgive them for doing so doesn't mean we justify it in any way or will allow bad things to continue to occur. What was bad will always be bad. Forgiveness is more about your own peace of mind. We are not doing it for them, the other person. We are doing something good to ourselves. We are no longer willing to drag this event along with us through life and ruin our present and future. We no longer allow it to eat us from the inside. We can liberate ourselves through letting it go, leaving it in the past, and give ourselves the chance that this bad thing has no longer power over us. Give yourself the chance to be free. Number 3, let's rethink the past and let's look at it from different perspectives, other than the one sticky negative one. Ask yourself the question, what did I have out of this past? Is there anything I have learned from it? And what is it that I learned from it? How did it influence you in your own personal development? Maybe you have become a very compassionate person. Maybe you are warm and helpful when others are in need. What else do I or can I use today that I have understood and learned from my negative experiences? Number 4, just because something has happened in the past doesn't mean it will happen in the future. There's no direct correlation between the two. As I said earlier, the mind will construct barriers to keep us safe and protect us from making the same or a similar experience that was so uncomfortable for us in the past. And it does make sense to a certain degree. We stay alert and we stay awake when appropriate. But if it keeps us away from meaningful relationships or interesting life experiences just because something specific has happened, or someone treated us badly, or our heart was broken, then it's not very useful to hold on to those barriers and mistrust everyone and everything around us. We encounter different situations and different people all through life that have nothing to do with how we experienced our past. Do not close yourself up and avoid friendships, romance, and happiness. Keep the eyes open, because you have learned from the past, but you don't make the mistake to compare, mistrust, and make false assumptions. Stay open. You are always free to go. Disappointment and pain, of course, will happen in life. That's just part of it. Take what you have learned from the past and use it wisely in the present as you become stronger with experience. It is important to remember that life is all about learning and always in process. We are always progressing and keep changing in small and in bigger ways. You can choose the direction you take. You can make it easier on you and for yourself. You don't need to feel like you are held hostage by your past. Life is for amateurs. Live it. So I hope this video was useful for you. And if it was, leave a like, share it, subscribe to the channel if you would like to stay updated about new videos, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a thing in the future. Thanks for watching and have a lovely day. Bye for now.